The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am is fine with me.
Off. Here we go, everybody. Hi, everyone. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? We want to welcome you to our show. This is What's the Story with Maria. It's on Armed Radio. If you have your TuneIn app, you go to just type in Armed Radio. It'll come right up. It's broadcasting live. And hi, Chris DePiero has joined us right away. He's usually the first one in. Hi, Chris DePiero. If you're on your computer, you just type in armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global, and you could stream it live. Jessica Schaefer-Jaffe has joined us. Rena Crunali-Burgess, she's my cousin in Massachusetts. Hi, Rena. Rena, I mailed you a package this week. You should get it any day. Leo Rodriguez. Everybody knows Leo. Leo is our accidental assistant. He started off as an intern, just did too well of a job. I had to start paying him. So he's the assistant now. Ryan Madigan. Hi, Ryan. I think he's back in New York City. He was in Provincetown for a while. He was in Florida for a while. But Buffalo, he's back. So these are some of our regulars. Catherine Salvio in Florida. Hi, Catherine. How are you? So tonight, of course, we are in the throes of the Christmas season, which I love. And Michael, who also who does so many different things, we're going to talk about that, but he also watches our show from time to time, and he reached out and said, hey, I'm going to be in town in December. Do you have any space? I'm like, are you kidding me? I would love that, because he's mostly in LA, so we have this window of opportunity to get this great, wonderful talent and friends. So we have Michael Vaccaro is joining us tonight. So we're going to tell you all about that. Tom Stilling has joined us. Rena, my merch is on its way. Yes, your merchandise is on its way. And I'll show the merchandise later. Okay, we're going to get rolling. First of all, I want to thank Jim Bell he's our producer and engineer. He's in New Hampshire. Thank you, Jimmy Bell. He got us on and always takes care of us. Lauren Moran Mills. Hi, Lauren. She's a teacher out in Morristown. Tomorrow we have our Christmas party. Don't forget, Lauren, 12 o'clock. And she's also a great actress and director and all that. So, okay. So, let's get this ball rolling. This is my friend Michael Vaccaro with 2 C's and 1 R.
Yes. In
case you're spelling it. And he's in New York, originally from New York, right, Michael?
Yes, I am originally from the Bronx. Me and J-Lo and Cardi B.
And Joe Gulla, who's calling
Joe Gulla.
Oh, my God. Cardi B, Joe Gulla, you, and J-Lo.
Tons of people are from the Bronx.
Yeah, but that's a big deal.
Hal Linden is from the Bronx. Remember that? Remember Hal Linden?
Of course.
Barney Miller. And I believe Al Pacino is from the Bronx.
Yes.
Yeah, tons
of
Anne Bancroft.
My favorite female actress of all time.
And you know her real name?
Of all time. Di Benedetto, right? Is it Benedetto?
No, that's Tony Bennett.
Okay.
It's Di Benedetto. But no, Anne Bancroft. She was Anna, and her last name was...
Wasn't Benedici?
No.
Something like that?
Literally, it was Italiano.
No!
Anna Italiano.
And they told her to change it.
And they made her change it to Anne Bancroft. Hi, Michael Barbieri in Las Vegas.
Oh, my God. Hi, Michael. Kia Nelson has joined us from Philly. Russ Woolley's joined us. He's here.
Jackie Fonetale.
You know Jackie. Hi, Jackie. How are you, sweetheart? My cousin Marisa Raskowski, she goes under Isabella because that's her daughter's name. Bridie Daly, hi honey, how are you? We went to junior high together. How crazy is that? And Liz Goldenberg is here. Hi, Liz Goldenberg. All these great people.
Wait a minute, look at what Leo did. Leo posted my cologne.
Your cologne, okay.
That's another thing we'll talk
Here's
about.
the thing with Michael. Okay. Michael was, we're going to have 2 guests on, right? But Michael does so much stuff, and John DePalma was going to join us, but there was a scheduling issue. So I said, Michael's enough. Like, we're going to have plenty to talk about. And Anyway, so Michael, you start anywhere you want. Maybe so. Leo's going to post things as they go.
Okay, that's very nice of you, Leo. Thank
Leo's
you so
amazing.
much for finding that.
So
I
tell us
appreciate
about this, Michael Vaccaro.
Okay,
How do you say this?
It's called Proteus. Proteus is a cologne. I had this idea because I love wearing cologne, right? You all remember that what was it? White Diamonds.
Right.
Liz Taylor, White Diamonds. Growing up in the '80s, I wanted my own cologne. I wanted White Diamonds.
Loved it.
So anyway, I have a friend named Scott Travis who is who makes candles. He has a candle company. And he actually came and approached me about doing a candle with me. And I said that would be great, but what I would really like to do is I would like to create a cologne if you're ever interested, because his candles were all scented.
Wow.
And he said, "Oh my God, let's do that." And so I knew exactly what I wanted it to smell like.
Really?
And you learn about like what top notes and all the little other things that you have to sort of put in it, to create it. It's like a science lab.
Yeah.
Putting it all together. And I knew what I wanted it to be called, Proteus. Proteus is my favorite character in Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
Two Gentlemen of Verona. And so
How
I love the
cool
name
is that?
Proteus, and so I wanted the cologne named Proteus, and I knew exactly. It smells like a bottle of amaretto, actually. Which I love that smell.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Different people
So we did
are
it, and now it's been like 3 or 4 years now of
Michael
Proteus.
Vaccaro, Proteus. So Leo is. So if you click on this link, people can actually get the cologne?
Yes, you can ask for a sample so that you can smell it, obviously, since you're buying it online.
Yeah.
You get a little sample and we'll send it to you, and you can smell it at home, and when you fall in love with it, which you will, then you can order it.
That is crazy. I love that. All right, so you created your own cologne. That's really, really cool. Because when I saw the advertisement for it, I just thought you were doing because you do a lot of print work,
I do a lot of print work, right? So yes, that's
So
what a lot of
I
people
thought,
said. You're doing an ad for a cologne.
Right.
So that's my cologne. Yeah.
You do a lot of commercials, a lot of voiceovers, a lot of print work.
I do a lot of that stuff.
And you go on a lot of auditions.
I audition every day. That's my job, is auditioning. I audition almost every day. Especially nowadays, for you actors out there, you all know this, especially out in Los Angeles, self-taping is a big thing.
So explain to most people, not most people, but a lot of people out there don't know what that means. Let me we have a few more people, and then let's go to the self-taping. Charles Caselli. Hi, Charles.
Lorinda Lisitza. Hi, Lorinda. I saw Lorinda this morning.
Yes, and you mentioned her when you were coming into town. Dominic Pupa has joined us. Hi, Dominic. Dominic, your show is doing so well. He's a comedian. He's got a show at the Duplex. I think the next one is
Thank you, Jackie.
Thursday, right? The 21st or Saturday. That's right. Child of the 70s. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Michael Klein has joined us. Meg Peg Gallagher. Hi, Meg. How are you? David Pellegrini has joined us. Janet Better, she's in Connecticut. Brendan Ryan. Hi, Sergeant Brendan Ryan. How are you? Okay, talk about self-taping. A lot of people out there that are not in our business don't know what that means.
Right, so...
And it's changed over the years. You used to just show up somewhere, audition, you'd get a call from your agent.
Right.
They'd say, Michael, can you be here tomorrow at whatever? You'd
Right.
show up.
Yes.
You'd get sides.
Right, sides, copy, a scene from whatever the project happens to be, right. And so now, of course, with the internet, it has just become easier to do it online. So basically what my agent will send me, will say, okay, I got you an audition for this sitcom. And he will email me a scene from the sitcom.
It's crazy.
And then I have to shoot it. I have to film it and shoot it at home in my home. So
By yourself.
By myself. And so every actor now in LA, I do 2-3 self-tapes a day sometimes.
Really?
You set up, I have a nice little background, you have to get the lighting, and you have to get the tripod with the camera on it and all that stuff. And then you usually have to get a friend to sort of read along with you like you would.
Okay, so they're on the other side of the camera doing
Correct.
that.
Right. And then you click a button and you email it in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do you click the button? You mean, do you upload it to your computer? Or is it just...
It becomes a file once you film it. It's a file. It's an MOV file or an MP4 file, and then you just email it in.
That is
crazy. I think
That's
the majority of
the way it goes
auditions now are happening that way. And I actually...
And same thing with video. I mean, voiceovers, right?
Voiceovers, I do here. This is my phone, and I get voiceover auditions every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 voiceover auditions a day, and same thing. My agent sends me the copy, and I just record it into my phone, and I send it in.
That sounds wonderful. Now, can you record it, but you can edit it, right?
Absolutely,
because that's the best part of it.
You can edit it and make it sound fantastic.
See, that's what I like.
You do 12 different takes, and pick the best one. Yeah.
That's what I like about it the most, because sometimes you go into an audition and you're so nervous or whatever, and it just doesn't come out right. Where here, when you're in the comfort of your own home, I do like that part of it very much. Yep. Leah Sutton has joined us. She's in Florida. How are you, sweetheart? Michael Rizzo has joined us. He is out in New Jersey. Michael Bowe has joined us.
I like Michael Rizzo from Jersey. That's a good Italian
That's
boy.
a great Italian
Jersey boy.
name. Yes, it is, and he's lovely and wonderful. So now, when I first met you,
yes.
I knew you as a singer.
Correct.
And
right.
you had, and it's funny because you brought your CDs tonight. I want to talk about these CDs. Let's show these right away. So when I first met Michael, I actually bought the CD. It's wonderful. And of course, the cover is so sexy, right? So all the boys and girls loved it. So that's Archangel Michael Vaccaro. That's CD, and then
that's the first one that came out in the year 2000.
Okay.
And then the second one,
hold on,
is called Wait for Him.
Okay.
And that I want to say came out in probably 2010, maybe 2011, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
And are both of these available online?
They are available online on CD Baby, but also on iTunes and
Spotify.
Not on Spotify, I don't think. I think just iTunes and CD Baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So
and on my website, michaelvaccaro.com.
Yes, and that's a great thing about having a website. You can get all that stuff. So Michael has 2 CDs. He's a great singer. So I knew you, Michael, only as a singer.
Right.
And in that cabaret world that we were all in.
Yes.
And so that's how I always knew you. And then, on
how long have you worked at the Duplex?
21 years.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
They're going to have to drag me out.
Did you work at the Duplex when it was at the old Duplex?
No.
Okay.
I worked at the Duplex since 98, and it's been since 91. It's been, which is the old Village Voice building.
Right. Yes.
Right.
7th
Avenue.
I remember because I grew up in New York, right, in the Bronx.
Right.
But I remember when that was the Village Voice building, and I remember when the Duplex was in that old space. And
yep. And which I used to come to in the 80s. I would fly in with my friend Richard Collins. We'd fly in on that shuttle, that Eastern shuttle, $60.
Right.
We'd fly in, we'd take a cab straight to the Village and go to the Duplex when it was downstairs. Then it was Rose's turn. And then
Rose's turn.
It just closed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leo has also posted michaelvaccaro.com. Thank you, Leo. Leo Rodriguez is the best. I'm getting a little sad because Leo got a job in Portland, Oregon, and he's leaving us soon. I don't even want to think about Leo. I don't even want to think about it. He'll still be able to pop stuff in, but he is going on a new adventure to open a new restaurant for a friend. So he's going off there. Carlos Hernandez has joined us. Yes.
It's cold. It's cold in Portland, and it rains a lot.
Yeah, Leo. Leo, just go, open the restaurant, get it on its feet, and then come back. That's it. We'll leave the light on for you. All right, so then, how did you transition? Mm-hmm. Because as I said, I knew you as a singer, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but on Facebook, you follow people, and then it was like rapid fire, the amount of acting that you're doing.
Oh, I started out as an actor when I got into SAG when I was 8.
Really?
8 years old. 8 years old, something like that.
I didn't know that. You see?
Yes, right. So so I was because I grew up here and I was a child actor, and I had this fantastic mother. We were talking about our mothers earlier, our Italian mothers. And when I sort of expressed this interest in being an actor and a singer when I was very, very young, of course she did all those, she slaved at her horrible job and got me singing lessons and dancing lessons and piano lessons and guitar lessons and acting lessons, all of that stuff. And she did this amazing thing, which is this was such a great thing about not only having a great Italian mom, but also growing up in New York City.
Right.
Every Saturday, my mother would put me on the train from the Bronx, on the D train, down to Midtown, and I would go see a Broadway show.
Wow.
So in the 70s and 80s, I saw everything.
Can you imagine how hard she had to work to do that?
I now looking
when you
back on it.
think about, because they're so expensive still.
Back in the day, I probably never even thought about it once. But
now, you appreciated it, which
of course.
Listen, as kids, I think that's all our parents wanted, that we appreciated what they did for us. That's the most important thing. So kids, if you're listening out there, just tell your parents you appreciate them. I think that is does a world of good for everybody. So you would go see a Broadway show.
Every Saturday, a matinee. And so, there were all these things that I remember, like the original Chicago with Gwen Verdon and Sheeta Rivera, and the original Pippin with Anne Reinking. I remember all of that stuff, growing up. So I started going to auditions. Was it backstage? That was the
Backstage
newspaper
was the
that
new-
we had, right?
Yep.
And so I started getting Backstage when I was a kid, and I would look through it. And I had a cousin who was also an actor, and so he would sometimes take me to auditions and stuff. And I got my first job. I was about 8, and I
Wow,
got into
doing
SAG.
what?
There's a movie called Rich Kids. Which
Oh my God, this is crazy.
One of my best friends, she's still one of my best friends in the whole world. The movie starred Trini Alvarado, and it was Rich Kids, and I think I sang in Rich Kids, and that's how I got my SAG card.
Wow.
And,
And that's hard to do, folks. If you know, SAG card is Screen Actors Guild. And it's not just like you can just walk in to the union and buy it. You have to be eligible for it. So you have to do something that merits them to say, you're really good, we're going to use you again, you have to join the union. Because the union's expensive.
Now it is for sure.
Whoa,
I remember
crazy.
this.
It's like thousands. Now I
Now
paid
it's $3,000.
$1,200, I think, in the 90s.
I remember.
My grandmother lent me the money. My grandmother, my little, said, I'm giving you this money. I paid her back in 7 months.
Oh, that's very nice.
And then I gave her my pin, my SAG pin that they sent me.
oh
I gave it
yeah,
to
I
her.
don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, but oh God.
I
that was so
remember
sad.
it was $200 when I joined, and my mother lost her mind.
Oh,
because
yeah,
she
I can
had to pay
imagine.
$200. But
That
yes.
was a lot of
But that
money
was a lot
back
of money,
then.
Yes, right. So then I got into SAG, and I got into AFTRA, and then I got into Equity, and all of that stuff. So all the acting stuff was like way before I started doing cabaret.
Wow, I
Cabaret
didn't know
only came
that.
about because, we all have these moments as actors where I just got tired of sitting around waiting for the phone.
That's it. You have to
Right.
create
And
your
I,
own
and
work.
I wanted to be creative. I felt so creative. I had to do something.
Yep.
And so I sort of put together a cabaret act, and that sort of turned into a whole thing. And I did cabaret for like the next 15 years.
You know, we talk about this with my best friend Susie. We talk about this all the time. Is that you have to create your own work.
Right.
There's just because, and then from that, people will see you and like what you do, and then ask you to do other things. But if you don't, if you're just sitting around waiting, it's not going to happen. It's or
Especially now.
Right.
Especially nowadays. Yeah.
or it will happen, but then that's what you're living for, versus just enjoying. You know, we named the show. Michael and I were sitting around trying to decide what to name the show, and the first thing we talked about when he came in, and he was early, which was great. We talked about being the ages we are, and being so okay with that. Whereas when we were younger, you know, people, agents, friends, directors should say, don't tell people how old you are. You know, change your age, or change the year you were born, whatever, because you're not going to get work. And now that we're at the age that we're at, we're like, I like being where I am. So the name of the show is Liking the Skin I Live In. So, you know, it's all about, like, those stories that you were telling, and both of us saying we wouldn't want to give up our histories
Right.
just to say we were younger. Because you just talked about seeing who you saw.
Right. Liza
On
Minnelli.
Broadway.
I remember seeing Liza Minnelli, I think 16 times in a show called The Act. I don't know if you remember The Act. It was at the Majestic
Unbelievable.
Theater, seeing The Wiz in 1975. I have
Wow.
such vivid memories of that. Raisin, there was a great show called Raisin, which was a
Raisin
musical
in the
version of Raisin in the Sun. Yeah, I remember that so vividly. All that stuff, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first Broadway show I ever saw was Sugar. Sugar, which was a musical version of the film Some Like It Hot. With
Really?
Robert Morse and Tony Roberts and Elaine Joyce. You remember Elaine
Of
Joyce?
course.
Yeah, she was so sexy.
Wow.
Right.
That's incredible.
Do you remember the first Broadway show you ever saw?
Well,
in a Broadway theater?
in a Broadway theater, because I lived in Boston,
Yeah.
so I didn't come here until 1990s. It was Once on This Island, and it still remains my favorite. But my dad, I will say,
Once on
my
This Island is such an
my
underrated
favorite.
show.
I know.
So, yes.
To this day, it's my favorite. But my dad, who is the reason that I'm in music at all, because my dad was a huge music buff, and especially jazz, and he used to take me to a lot of shows in Boston when they were on
Yes,
tour.
on tour, sure.
So I saw Porgy and Bess, and I used to see a lot of. He loved plays, so I used to see a lot of plays. But Pippin, I think I saw Pippin when it was on tour. There were so many things, but my dad used to take me to see concerts constantly. He just loved music, and my mother couldn't always go because she was handicapped. So it was hard for her to, like, kind of walk around, and, you know, when they parked the car and then have to walk. But I would go with my dad. I used to go on jazz boats and all kinds of things. That's my love of music comes from that.
Yeah.
So as yours does from going to shows.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
used to
And
go by
plays, too.
yourself?
Yeah, she would put me on the D train at 205th Street. And I would go into the city by myself. I was a tough kid. I was a tough little kid.
I believe
Tough
it.
little Italian kid from the Bronx.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Do you love Bronx Tale then? Have you seen?
You mean the movie or the show?
Well, both. Have you seen
I-
the movie?
Of course I've
Of
seen the
course.
movie, but I haven't seen the show. But
It's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually on Broadway, my friend Joe Barbara, who, ironically, we're talking about her SAG card. When I got my SAG card, my grandmother wired me the money. So I had to go. This is in the 90s. I had to
when
go.
People wired money.
Wired money. I had to go and pick up $1,200. I was so scared that I was going to get jumped. So I called Joe Barbara, who was with me in Tony Tina's wedding, and he's a big, beautiful, strong guy, and he walked down there with me and like stood outside.
That's hilarious.
And then we got on the train with money, and then we went to SAG,
Yeah.
and I paid for my card. It was such a big deal, and but all those little stories that you remember. But Joe Barbara played the lead in Bronx Tale.
Oh.
He played Sonny. Chaz Palminteri was in it for a while as well.
Yeah.
So let's check in with some of our people, because I know we got a lot more people. Donna Mila has joined us. Mario Cantone. Hi, Mario. Mario and I went to high school together.
Natalie
Douglas.
Hi,
How are you?
Douglas.
Natalie's got a show coming up, too, I think. Joe Gulla's going to call in, Natalie. So I think I'm not sure if you guys are on the same night, but Forrest Hedden has checked in. George Hernandez. He's in Miami and Kentucky. And Rory Taggart, he is in Canada. Michael Ciccarelli. Hey, Maria, my friend's brother, Mario. All right. Okay, beautiful. So everybody's connected here. I love this. This is fantastic.
That was my first Broadway show, too. What was your first Broadway show, Lorinda? Once on This Island?
Was that really? Or maybe... I'm telling you, that was an amazing...
By the way...
And speaking of Mario, guess who was the lead in that show? Jerry Dixon, who was Mario's husband. But they've been together for like a long, long time.
There's a song in Once on This Island which was cut. It's called Come Down from the Tree. Do you know it?
I've heard it. It's beautiful.
It is glorious.
It's beautiful.
It is glorious, and they cut it from the show.
I wonder sometimes why they cut the songs they do. I guess it's too long and they have to.
I don't know what it is, but it's one of my favorite songs to sing. It's one of those songs whenever I sing it, I start to cry.
Yeah, I feel that way about... there's a few songs like that I have to brace myself.
You really have to
before I sing them.
Yes, exactly,
Some of them I can't. Like, one of my favorite songs ever written was How Glory Goes. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
This is my favorite song ever written. How Glory Goes. If you guys want to look it up, it's Brian Stokes Mitchell does my favorite version of it. That's one of those songs that I've tried to sing and I can't get through it without crying. It's like it's about a man that Floyd Collins that thinks he's going to die, and it's right before he dies, and he starts to question what is it going to be like. How is it going to be? And it's so beautiful. How Glory Goes. Do yourself a favor. Be alone. Get yourself some Kleenex. And How Glory Goes, Brian Stokes Mitchell.
The whole score of Floyd Collins is devastatingly beautiful.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. And also the song by Craig Cornelia, There's a Man at First and a Man at... it's from Diamonds. I'll think of it. I'll think of it in a minute. But that song always makes me cry, too. Caitlin Rose Cantrell has checked in. Natalie, love that show.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. So now, you also, speaking of not wanting to give up our history and when we were born, let's segue into Child of the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So, when I first saw the title, now Joe Gulla's going to call in. Actually, let's hold off.
It's 9:30.
Yeah, let's wait. Because we don't want to start, and then Joe's going to call in. So, let's remember that, because we want to talk about it.
We'll get back to Child.
Joe Gulla is going to call in. Joe Gulla is my friend. He is an incredible playwright, funny, great comedies. And
from the Bronx.
So we have our Bronx boys tonight. Jeffrey Campbell, my friend Jeffrey Campbell, has checked in. Brendan Ryan. Maria, I just saw part 1 of The Inheritance.
I'm Brendan. I am going to see it next week. I'm going to see both parts. Do you know about The Inheritance?
No, I don't know.
It's like Angels in America. It's epic
parts.
play. It's in 2
Wow.
parts. It's 8 hours long.
All right, let's get this, and then let's get Joe Gulla here. Okay, hold on, and then we'll talk about The Inheritance. Joe Gulla, is that you?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh my God, first-time caller, long-time listener. Do you know that you're absolutely right about the Bronx? I didn't realize that Michael Vaccaro was also from the Bronx like you.
As soon as you mentioned his name, I ran to my Facebook. We are already Facebook friends, which was funny to me because I don't know him, but his attractiveness is, I'm sure, why I reached out to one point and said, I need this attractive face on my Facebook.
Yeah, you get more friends if you have Michael Vaccaro as a Facebook friend. It's like a magnet.
That was clickbait. clickbait.
Now listen,
Sure.
listen to me.
What part of the Bronx? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, part of the Bronx. Now, speaking of the Bronx, Bronx Queen, which is your play,
Right.
is because
Yeah.
you have so many plays, and we were talking about. I was talking about some of your plays with Michael earlier, but Bronx Queen is happening next week, right?
December 27th
Okay.
at 54 Below. And look who is on your webpage right now. Natalie Douglas, who is my special guest that night. How blessed
This is
am I?
crazy. So you get 2 for 1. You
I
get
really don't want to give away too much, but since it came up many times, she is singing a song from Once on This Island.
what?
I don't want to give that away, but you just literally said it 5 seconds ago, and then she appeared
Wait,
on the thing.
if she is singing one of my human part of the human heart, Natalie, are you singing?
That's it.
Oh my God!
It is.
That
I
is-
love it. It's a rendition.
Yeah, that is one of the ones that also makes me bawl my eyes out every time I hear the song. Right? Natalie,
Unbelievable.
and I can't imagine Natalie Douglas singing part of the. Forget, I'm crying now. I'm crying inside.
It's very relevant to my show
Wow.
because
What does she say?
as it sounds like, of course, the Bronx Queen. I'm a gay guy from the Bronx. Yes, that is a major part of why it's called the Bronx Queen. But interestingly, and maybe you might know about this, Michael. My dad, in fear of me being gay, would take me fishing on a fishing boat that left the Bronx, and the boat was called the Bronx Queen.
Wow.
So, to butch me up, he was taking me every weekend on a boat called the Bronx Queen. And I was
Wow.
the joke of that was never lost on me. And I said back then, I am writing something, and that is the title, or
Wow.
I am the Bronx Queen. I mean, but, I'm open to Michael, fighting me for that title. I'm very open to that.
Leo just posted Joe Gallo, the Bronx Queen, Feinstein's 54 Below. Okay, so this is the link, everybody out there.
Yeah.
And I know that there's not a lot of seats left. I know that.
I am so, honored and thrilled about that, by the way. There are
Yes, I know,
only
but
7 bar stools left.
7 bar stools left.
Wow.
So if
Yeah.
you want to plant your butt on one of those 7 bar
bar
stools, do it sooner than later, because that room, it sells out, and you got Joe and Natalie on a double bill there. That's incredible.
Yes. Yes. I'm so honored to have her. I'm so excited about this.
Me too. And Natalie is honored. As you were saying that, Natalie was typing the same thing. Amazing. So, Joe, Leo has posted it. Now, I know
Thank you.
What else do you have a website that people can check out your other stuff at?
I do, and I'm sure he'll do that too, because that's the Leo Rodriguez thing.
Is it?
How come? What's going on? Why is Leo leaving New York?
I know. I'm very upset. We're all upset. My cousin Maurice is
Will there
upset.
be some sort of, sit-in or protest or something? What do we have to do?
Leo,
I
I think we're gonna have to do something. I don't know. Maybe we just lock him up and he can't leave. I don't know. I'm very sad. I'm in denial about it a little bit.
Yes, you are, because you didn't mention this at all.
No, I haven't. I haven't been able to talk about it. So now Leo has.
Who was I at your bar with?
Who are you where?
Prince Charming. Do you remember? I brought that man.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you brought a really cute boy.
Prince Charming from Disney World.
Yep. Yeah, he looked like a prince. Now,
I want to mention that.
You did mention, yes, I remember. That was last week. We had a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
Joe, we're going to post your website. Everybody
Thank you.
and check out Joe. Joe writes constantly, does a lot of great plays all over the country, and also Italy. His plays have been performed in Italy as well.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back on the show, Joe. I love you, and I just wanted to make sure I plugged the 54 Below thing, okay?
I appreciate you doing that. I love you beyond belief. Great meeting a fellow Bronx.
Merry Christmas, Joe. Merry Bronx Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Happy Arthur Avenue to you.
Yes!
Yeah.
Arthur Avenue. I want to go there while I'm
Have
here.
a great
dinner.
evening.
You too, sweetheart. Love you to pieces.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye, honey.
We're getting something happened to the mic and the sound is wonky. So Jackie, is the sound better now?
Does the sound better now? Maybe sometimes what happens is with the microphone, usually it straightens itself out. So there's the Bronx Queen thing. Okay, so now we were talking about, and folks, let us know how the sound is. Sometimes what happens is, so let me just talk about something else so we can, as we're testing the sound, something happened to the mic. Okay, sound is wonky. Is it better now, you guys? Let us know. Said this, but it really sounds, oh, I know. Okay, so you know what?
What?
I don't want to unplug it or anything like that. Let me just do this. Come back this way. Come in the middle, a little bit like that. Okay, sometimes it goes a little kooky, and then it'll straighten itself out. How's that, folks? Can everybody just let us know if it's getting better?
I
Leo,
see no difference.
No difference for you. So then it's the Facebook Live. So we are still broadcasting on our podcast. That will sound okay, and this will straighten itself out. It usually does that. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes this mic, I got to get a new mic. Okay, now let's talk about Child of the 70s. Wow, we're here.
Okay.
This is a web series. Tell everybody about it.
Okay, so Child of the 70s is a web series that I started doing in 2011.
Okay.
It's a sitcom, basically. It's sort of my homage to
something's wrong.
Yes.
All right, hold on a second.
Yeah.
We'll keep. I'm afraid to unplug. If I unplug it, it'll unplug the Facebook Live. That's the problem with this. Hold on. Very often it will straighten itself out. So I'm just hoping it does. Okay. All right. Well, you know what though?
Yes.
Our podcast,
Okay.
and then sometimes I can link them together. So go ahead. Child of the 70s.
So yes, it's sort of my homage to 70s TV, and I grew up in the 70s, of course, watching television, and I'm sure you had this experience as well. My favorite television show of all time is Rhoda.
That's my favorite. Seriously.
Yeah.
I have Rhoda up there, and she signed it for me. And she's my very favorite of all time.
Right.
I
Me
can't
too.
believe it.
I grew up loving Rhoda, and so I had this
and
idea.
And she was New York to me.
Oh, yes.
That's why I wanted to move here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And so I had this idea to sort of do like an homage to 70s TV, but also really very specifically to Rhoda. So I have this character who I play in Child of the 70s, and his story basically kind of follows Rhoda's story, and Rhoda's journey for me was all about, this sort of very classic story about the ugly duckling who realizes that she's a beautiful swan.
Right.
She's sort of coming into herself.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you, Leo.
Oh, thank you, Leo, for doing that.
And
Leo's the best.
And so, and because I love 70s TV and I loved Rhoda, so I wrote this show, and then I just sort of, and again, it was one of those things just like Cabaret, where I was just waiting for the phone to ring, and I just thought, I have to do something. So I sat down one day, and a friend of mine and I started writing this script, and all of a sudden there were like 5 episodes, and I thought, I loved it so much, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I have to do something. So we ended up raising money, and we filmed it. We did a first season.
Really, really funny.
Thanks.
Really, and it's exactly like, there's a certain style that you film it as well, and the humor, the slapstick quality that I love, and how everybody on it is so willing to cross that line of not caring what they really take one for the comic team.
Right.
And I just love it.
We have all of these great people on the show. I got all of these great people from the 70s. So, for instance, Ted Lange from The Love Boat is in it. Susan Olsen, who played Cindy Brady on The Brady Bunch, is in it. Donna Pescow, who was Angie.
Right, in Saturday Night Fever.
And she was in Saturday Night Fever as well. She plays my mother. This great actress named Beverly Sanders, who was on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and who was on Rhoda, she's also in it. Carol Eda White, who was on Laverne and Shirley, she's in it.
Wow.
We got all of these amazing people to be in it. And we ended up doing 5 seasons of it. And it was an incredibly wonderful experience. Now it's on. It's got its own website, which I think Leo just put up, and it's also on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. It's also on a streaming service called Dekkoo. If you've never heard of Dekkoo, Dekkoo, and that's a very specific LGBTQ streaming service, which is really great.
But the show is so funny. I've watched it. Like sometimes I'll just, because I have It caught my attention right away a couple years back, right? Because it's been a few years.
Oh yeah, 5 years.
Okay, and I would just pop it on and be like, "What is this?" And then I get caught up in the humor. But then I've seen a lot of the trailers and a lot of the different.
Yeah.
So fun. I mean, that scene where the whole thing. I don't want to give much away, but when it blows up, where she's
Right.
it's like, "Don't light that cigarette."
Right.
It's like so many funny things. Hi, Patrick McGuinn. So, can you guys tell us if the sound has gotten any better? I know the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, you're fine. That microphone is going through Armed Radio, and it's fine. I think it's the Facebook Live. We're having trouble with that mic. Okay. All right, so we'll hope. Natalie Douglas, Jackie, okay. So let's see what else is. Arlene Davis has joined us. We've posted all the stuff. Now, when you do these, now you have something else coming up. Hold on. I promised I wouldn't forget it.
Okay.
Aunt Sissy, tell us about that.
So that's the next web series that I'm working on. So we finished Child of the 70s. We did 5 seasons of it, and it ended, and I loved it. And so now I'm doing another one. It's called Aunt Sissy. And this one, now, if you remember, if you watched television in the 60s and 70s, there was a TV show called Family Affair.
Of course.
Right. And so, and it was about these 3 kids, Sissy and Buffy and Jody. Right, who go and live with their Uncle Bill.
Yes.
And so...
I love that. Was way back.
That was in 68, I think that started, something like that.
I loved that show.
Well, so now, Aunt Sissy is about that character, the eldest daughter, Sissy, who's now a woman in her 60s. Wow. And it's all about her. And so we've written it, and we just shot the pilot, and it's with Kathy Garver, who played Sissy on Family Affair.
Oh my God, that's fantastic!
And yeah, we have some amazing people in that, and we just shot the pilot. And now we're gonna.
So you really have created this whole life for yourself in LA, like really, you've really made it happen. You haven't sat back. Right, and just waited. You can't.
You can't anymore. You have to. Like you said earlier, you have to create your own content.
Yep.
You have to get out there because nobody cares about you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you get work or not. Nobody cares.
Right. Even now with the self-taping, you don't even show up anywhere.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that.
Nobody cares. So the fact is, I mean, you have to do your own stuff. You have to write your own book and self-publish. You have to record your own CDs and put them on Spotify. You have to create your own web series and upload them. You have to do your own stuff.
Right.
You have to create your own products.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
If you're lazy, forget it.
Forget it. Right.
Angel Gonzalez has joined us too. Joe Gulla, there is. How is the sound? Oh, it's a frequency thing. Okay, the only thing I could say is it does straighten itself out. It's very annoying. I have to get this little mic. It's been great, but sometimes it does that.
We can do it in sign language.
Yeah, and also what I will do is I will have the sound when we put it up on YouTube, because just so you guys know, What's the Story with Maria is on YouTube now too. It has a YouTube channel. Just subscribe, and you got all those. Leo's done that for me. Thank you, Leo. And so you can go back and watch things, and I'll just click the sound in and from the other recording.
Oh, Lorinda Lasitza was on Child of the 70s,
She
too.
was?
Yes. That's right. Hi, Lorinda. Yes, she was hilarious. She was absolutely hilarious. She played a character named Bonita.
Oh, wait a minute. Because I just rewatched some of it.
Yes.
Wow, you were really funny, Lorinda.
Yes, she is really funny. And
really funny.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh no, she's coming back."
That's right. Bonita's back, bitches.
Oh, that's right. That was you. It was really funny. Listen, I'm going to take a minute. We're going to do the food section of our show.
Food, and we're Italians.
Right. So the section of our show is called Go Ahead, Keep Eating. You got to do it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, keep eating. Okay, so what did I make tonight? Michael is Italian, but he is also a vegan. How long have you been a vegan?
A little over a year now, so it's sort of a new thing.
So when I ask people what are their dietary restrictions, preferences, allergies, Michael said, well, I'm Italian, but I'm a vegan. So this is what I did. I like those challenges as a creative person. I made this pasta is called radiatori, which means radiators, but it's radiatori tre colori. 3 colors. So these little shapes are like little radiators, but they are, and I made sure there was no egg. There's spinach, beet, parsley, paprika. That's what's semolina and wheat in this pasta itself. What did I put in the sauce? I made marinara. I started with olive oil. I put sun-dried tomatoes. I put roasted red peppers, pureed all that down, a little red wine, pureed all that down, and then added just a bunch of spices, oregano, the basic garlic, oregano, basil. This is a beautiful, beautiful sauce. And it's nice and simple, but it's also beautiful sauce. And that is on that. We're going to cook that in the kitchen. I'm going to mix everything up. So that is our vegan pasta. And then for a salad, I wanted to make like a Christmassy looking salad there. And I was so happy that Michael liked beets because I love beets. So what this is butter lettuce. And we got some nice red radishes in there. Some beets, baby beets. Cucumbers are called hothouse cucumbers. They're delicious. Kind of like an English cucumber. And chives. Chopped up fresh chives. And I'm using a lemon olive oil. And a pear infused vinegar for that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be delicious. Now, what do we have? Vegan desserts are not easy. And we both found that out today.
Yeah, I went searching. I went to all my favorite Italian pastry shops in New York City. Walking all over in the rain, and nobody had vegan.
Not
pastries.
vegan anything. So listen, if you're a baker out there, it might behoove you to come up with a vegan recipe.
A vegan cannoli, please.
How would they do that? That's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody will come up with it. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a delicious banana bread. I got this at Trader Joe's. It says vegan giant on the box. Banana bread, banana and walnut bread. So we're going to eat that. That is going to be delicious. So that is our meal for tonight. And can't be easy to be an Italian vegan. I know my nieces are Italian vegans.
It's not easy, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, what prompted you?
Oh, gosh. Oh, my God, Michael. Maria, total Facebook eye candy tonight. Hi, Carolyn Montgomery. Mwah.
You know Carolyn
Of course I
Montgomery.
do.
She's
Absolutely.
lovely.
Hi.
Carolyn, we got to get you on the show. I've been saying this forever, but we're going to get it together in January.
Yeah.
We got so many great people. I'm going to get Marty Thomas on too.
Oh, Marty.
Marty just has a brand new CD that he released, and we're going to get Marty on. So tell me about
Marty's on the last two seasons of Grace and Frankie.
Really?
Yeah. Good for you, Marty. Marty Thomas, yes.
May I just share for a second? I forgot to show you my shirt tonight for all the singers. It's Santa and reindeer, but it says "Don't Stop Believin'." You get it? So yeah, okay. I had to share that with you. I ordered it special. But anyway, so go ahead. Marty's on the and were you on that as well?
No, I wish. It's their last season coming up, so that's my dream. To be on Grace.
Do you know Michael Woolley? Michael Leon Woolley?
No.
By any chance? He's an actor, friend of mine. He's in L.A. He was on that show as well, and now he's got a new show coming out with RuPaul. The AJ and the Queen. Yeah. He plays RuPaul's best roommate. That's going to be and I think that film's in L.A.
Probably.
Yeah. So tell me about
vegan. I mean, the truth is, if you want the real true story,
well,
is that
if you can tell it.
Yeah, no, I can tell it. I don't
want to put you on the spot.
I was on Facebook and I was scrolling around like we do, and somebody had posted a video, a really disturbing video, and before I realized what it was sort of too late.
Judy did the same thing.
It was a video of a cow being slaughtered in a slaughterhouse in a factory farm. And it was so disturbing and so upsetting. I can't watch
that because then how can I give up my...
Well, that's the thing. I watched it and I realized that I could no longer pretend that I was not a part of this whole system. That I could no longer... I didn't want them to do this for me anymore.
Right.
And so I just stopped. And the truth is, it's one of the best things, like quitting smoking. It was one of the best things that I have ever done.
Now, how about, let me ask you, because I always am fascinated by vegans.
Yes.
How about just being a vegetarian? What makes you go all the way over?
Well, dairy is
or pescatarian or any of that.
When you actually then start to read and do research and all that stuff, which I did, human beings really should just not be drinking milk at all.
I'm not a big fan of milk anyway. That's not my
but dairy, it's the same thing. And of course, being Italian, you put cheese on everything.
Oh, forget it. Yes.
And so. But cheese is the same thing. It does the same thing to your body that milk does.
Yeah.
And so I just, and the truth is, I don't miss it. I really honestly
That's incredible. I don't know.
miss it.
I can't do it.
I still eat tons of pasta.
Yeah.
First of all, the first thing that happened was I lost 25 pounds.
Right. Well,
Boom.
that's amazing.
Boom, and I was like, okay, well that works. That's great.
Right.
And again, I live in Los Angeles, and we live. It's going to be 2020, the Roaring 20s. It's easy. It's easy. There are so many options out there.
That's true.
You know, and there's so much food with protein. It's a myth that you only get protein from meat. That's a myth.
Wow.
Given to us, handed to us on a silver platter by the meat industry.
Yeah.
Same thing with
I
calcium
believe
in the
that.
dairy industry. So you can eat really clean and really healthy and really delicious as a vegan. I eat tons of pasta. I eat tons of rice.
Vegetables are
tons.
beautiful.
I've learned how to cook vegetables, how to roast vegetables.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like anything that you decide to do that works for you. Whatever it is, everybody's got their stuff.
And I had high cholesterol. My cholesterol went down to
Oh,
normal.
I can imagine.
I'm never bloated. I just feel good.
Well, when I saw you when you walked in, you looked so different than like when I was watching Child of the '70s, and I love that guy too.
Yeah,
it's not. That's a
but
total.
I was big. I was bigger then, and my skin is better. It's just there's just nothing bad about it.
Right, and your head feels clear.
And my head feels clear. I mean, like if you buy into all this stuff, I actually feel better about my. We talk about our carbon footprint. I feel better about how I treat the world and how the world treats me, and I feel better in a spiritual sense about how I'm going through life, I guess.
Yeah, that's tough. The vegan thing, I got to tell you, I mean, my hat is off to you and my nieces. I don't know how they do it. And they're Italian, too. They're always like, you just kick. They just, you find your little place. A lot of my friends are vegetarians. So that I know. Hi, Jeffrey Campbell. Can anybody, Rosella has joined us. Karen Keene has joined us. Lisa Vigiano has joined us. Guys, tell us if the sound is better. I think it has corrected itself. Otherwise, people would still be saying that. Sometimes that happens, but the podcast, also, let me tell everybody, we got about 4 minutes left, maybe 5 minutes left to our show. So, if you want to listen to What's the Story with Maria and podcast, which I hope you do, you go to Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio, just type in What's the Story with Maria, and this is a 127th episode, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me just double check that, because also on on YouTube, 126 maybe. Yeah, 126. So just check that out. Also, I want to talk to you about, I got a little merchandise now. That's what happens eventually.
That's part of the show.
If you do it right, you get a little merchandise. So here is our coffee cup, of course. This is only $10, and on the back, go ahead.
Dude,
keep eating. Right? Here it is. So that's our coffee cup. And then we're going green, right? The world is going green, and we're happy about that. So they're going to stop with the plastic bag. So look, we got a little tote bag. This was Leo Rodriguez's idea. On the back again, go ahead, keep eating. That's only $10. And this one is a little pricier because it just costs more. But if you are a cook in the kitchen and you want to sport a What's the Story with Maria apron, look at this. The whole thing says, go ahead, keep eating.
Carolyn Montgomery, I
Could
think
you
you need
die?
one of those because Carolyn Montgomery loves to cook.
I know she does, and she makes drinks. She has a cocktail class.
She has a cocktail class too. Maybe I should take it while I'm here.
I'm telling you, Carolyn, we got to get you on and just get the word out. She's always doing. Plus, she's a beautiful singer, like
Fantastic
an amazing singer.
Yes.
So, Michael, now,
Yes. Yeah.
Of all the things that I won't say what's your favorite because you seem to. When's your birthday, by the way?
My birthday is June 23rd. I'm a Cancer.
Okay, just by a few days, right? So you're like a little bit on the
I'm
Gemini
on the
cusp.
Gemini cusp. Yes.
Because I'm a Gemini too. I'm not like on the Gemini Taurus cusp, but I'm like a full Gemini. But Geminis are kind of like that. Like Susie Campanero's a Gemini. My Poppy Kramer was a Gemini.
Oh,
These
Poppy
are,
Kramer.
I know,
Yeah,
Poppy.
I
We're
know.
still, everybody's in denial
It's still a hard one. Yeah, still.
Everybody's still like, nah. I just keep expecting that she'll just show up at something. So, in Poppy, who knows? Maybe she will. But Geminis, or there's certain types of people, and you seem like one of those types of people that are just always have their hand in something.
Right. Well, I'm a bit of a hustler, I guess is what.
Yeah,
it is.
that's what it is. It is about the hustle.
Yeah.
There's no other way in this business. And if you're someone that's not, life is not for you, don't go into entertainment, because that's really, it's kind of like piecing your life together. Everything's in just blocks and pieces. and you have to. What would you say the things that you definitely need to survive in this business?
Oh, resiliency. I
Yeah.
think is just the ability to somehow not let it sting you, not let it hurt you. And I don't mean have a tough skin, because that's no good either.
Right.
Allow
Just
yourself
not take
to
it
be
personally.
vulnerable, but just don't take it personally, because honestly, it has nothing to do with you.
Now,
I work really hard, and I still study. I still go to acting class like twice a week, and
That's a
I still
big
work
deal.
on my voice, and I still do all this stuff, and I'm constantly reading and trying to learn stuff. But I think that's what you have to do. I think you have to be interested. I mean, you really have to be consistently and constantly interested, and be constantly willing to fail,
right.
and be resilient and not let any of it hurt you. And I think really I feel this way about myself. And like you said, there is no reason to do any of this unless you absolutely, completely, utterly love it.
Oh yeah, no, you have to.
And
it
I
has
love
to
it.
be what you wake up
I
for
love what
every day.
day. I wake up and I think, what can I do to fulfill that creative need?
Yeah, and also, any job that you do, like for me, I have to really want to go to work and love what I do. And I want to talk about a new thing that I am, because I almost forgot. I have a new gig on Saturday nights. There's a great new piano bar in Jersey City, 100 York Street, Jersey City. It's between Green and Washington. It's called Pianist Envy. So piano player, Envy, and it's a beautiful, beautiful new space. And the singing wait staff, it's great. They have done such a beautiful job there. Michael Billy is one of the owners, and they just really, it's kind of like walking back into old school piano bar, like the way that it was. It's really like literally walking back in time, and I love it. So if you're in the area, I'm there Saturday night starting, actually I think my shift will be 5 to the music stops at midnight.
This Saturday?
Every Saturday now,
Okay.
I'm going to be working there. So it's just a really great spot, and I want to plug it. And I'm going to have people on from that particular venue soon, and then we'll tell you more about it. But put that in your calendar, Saturday night. Well, they're open, I think, Wednesday through Saturday now. So check them out anytime, please. I'm there on Saturday, so I did want to put a plug in for that. But did you ever work in piano bar, Michael?
Yeah, I worked at the Encore. Do you remember the Encore, the short-lived Encore? I worked at Mama Rose's.
Wow,
I worked at
right.
I worked at, it wasn't Judy's, it was Helen's. Remember when it was
Yes.
after it was Judy's, it was Helen's.
Wow.
I worked there. Yeah.
You forget about how many bars popped up.
All those places, yeah.
All those places, and out in LA, they don't seem to. The piano bars don't seem to.
They had a few. They actually had a Don't Tell Mama out there
Out
for
there.
a while, but yeah, it didn't last too long.
It's a whole different
They have a few cabaret
energy.
rooms, but they don't really have like piano bar type thing. I mean, there are a couple now.
Is it?
but
It's
yes.
not really a singing city, is it?
No.
It's more of an acting city,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Woolley that I was talking to said that in LA people sing, but what that means is more studio stuff. Like they're going to prepare. It's not so much.
They also,
to watch.
they definitely have a couple. They have Rockwell, which is a cabaret room, and of course the Gardenia, which has been there for a million years.
Really?
They used to have the Synagogue, but that's gone. Yeah, they have a couple of places.
Now you
yeah.
have lived in LA how long?
This time around I moved there in 2009. Total was, it's now 18 years
Really?
that I've been in Los Angeles. So now I feel like they're both my home. Los
Yeah.
Angeles and New York are both my
And
home.
what made you want to move out there in the first
To
place?
get a TV show, to star in my own version of Rhoda, which I then had to create myself.
Oh, Rhoda! When you even say the name Rhoda, I just love.
That was a big loss for me. I always feel like it's a little weird when we mourn celebrities because we don't know these people. But the truth is, this year when Valerie Harper died, it really hurt me.
Oh my God! But even when she was first diagnosed, I remember like going into a panic.
Yeah.
And her book is beautiful. Actually, I read it, but
yes.
and she signed it. So, but what I did was I got it on CD. Jimmy, how much time do we have?
1 minute.
1 minute. Got it on CD because she actually reads it herself, so you
Wow,
get to hear her
yeah.
voice. Okay, we want to thank Michael Vaccaro. Thank you, Michael, for being on our show. We so appreciate you.
Can I say one quick
Yes,
thing?
please.
John De Palma, I love you. And I'm
yes,
sorry you
John.
weren't here.
We miss you, John De Palma. I want to special thanks to Jim Bell, our producer and engineer, who makes sure we get on the radio every week. Jimmy, if I don't talk to you, have a wonderful Christmas. Now, by the way, we will not be here next Tuesday because it's Christmas Eve, and it's an
Yeah,
Italian
that's what I was
marathon.
just saying.
Yeah, I was going to tell you anyway. So we will not be here. I'm going to be in Boston, and it's just going to be too crazy to do a show. But then, right the next week, which is New Year's Eve, come back and join us. I might Facebook Live a little something from Boston next week, somewhere along the line. But we're not going to be doing our show. So thank you, everybody. We love and appreciate you. Have a wonderful holiday. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Michael.